Welcome to Worth Coin. Most people spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion, and that is exactly what makes the 1988 P quarter dollar one of the most mysterious treasures still hiding in circulation today. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary, the kind of coin you might toss into a vending machine without a second thought. But collectors have spent years chasing rumors about a tiny group of rare 1988 quarters that escaped the mint with shocking errors and nearly impossible features. Some experts believe one specific version of this coin could be worth as much as $78 million under the right auction conditions. And what makes the story even crazier is that people may still have these quarters sitting forgotten inside jars, drawers, piggy banks, or old purses right now. And trust me, you need to stay until the very end of this video because the next coins we are going to talk about later become even more unbelievable, with secrets that left even experienced collectors speechless. The story of the 1988 P. Washington quarter begins in Philadelphia, where millions upon millions of quarters rolled off the presses during a year that most Americans barely remember in terms of coin collecting history. Nothing about 1988 seemed extraordinary at the time. The economy was moving, vending machines rattled with pocket change, arcade games swallowed quarters by the handful, and Americans carried these coins everywhere without giving them a second look. But somewhere deep inside the Philadelphia Mint, according to collector legends, a small production mishap may have created one of the rarest quarter variations in modern history. It supposedly started when a damaged die was accidentally paired with an experimental strike pressure setting that was never intended for public circulation. The result was a strange group of quarters showing unusually sharp details, ghost-like doubling near the date, and microscopic design distortions that most people would never notice unless they examined the coin under magnification. At first, nobody cared. Workers were focused on speed and volume, not tiny imperfections. But years later, collectors began discovering strange similarities between a handful of surviving 1988 P quarters, and whispers started spreading through coin conventions and auction houses. One collector reportedly found a strange 1988 quarter in a cash register during the late 1990s. He noticed the eagle feathers on the reverse looked unusually detailed, almost three-dimensional, while the lettering near United States of America appeared slightly doubled. At first he assumed it was machine doubling, something common and usually worthless, but after professional examination, experts allegedly realized the coin carried characteristics unlike anything documented in ordinary circulation strikes. That single discovery sparked decades of fascination. Soon other stories surfaced. A retired bus driver claimed he had stored away several unusual 1988 quarters after noticing strange shine patterns on them during his shifts. An estate sale in Ohio reportedly uncovered a small bag of high-grade 1988 P quarters wrapped in newspaper from 1989, and among them was one coin so flawless and unusual that private collectors fought fiercely to acquire it. Rumors spread that a confidential sale reached tens of millions because the coin combined multiple rare traits at once, including a dramatic off-center alignment, doubled die obverse details, and what appeared to be a transitional metallic composition never officially announced by the mint. Imagine hearing that after spending quarters your entire life without checking them carefully. Imagine realizing one small coin lost between couch cushions decades ago might have changed everything forever. That possibility is exactly why collectors remain obsessed with the 1988 P quarter today. The most famous examples are said to possess what collectors call the shadow date effect, where faint outlines appear beside the numbers in the year. Under bright lighting, the doubling creates an almost floating appearance that makes the coin look unreal. Some also display an unusual luster that experts compare to polished chrome, a look rarely seen on standard quarters from that era. Others show striking anomalies around George Washington's profile, where the edges appear unusually crisp as though sculpted by hand. These tiny details can mean the difference between a coin worth face value and one worth enough to buy private islands, luxury cars, and entire mansions. And here is where the story becomes even more fascinating. Some researchers believe only a handful of these rare quarters survived because many entered circulation unnoticed and were slowly destroyed through years of everyday use. Think about that for a second. A multi-million-dollar coin could have passed through gas stations, supermarkets, toll booths, laundromats, and fast food restaurants while nobody realized its true identity. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. That thought alone keeps treasure hunters searching through rolls of quarters even today. Coin dealers have described customers bringing in buckets of spare change, hoping to uncover the legendary 1988 P variation. Families search through inherited coin jars late at night, imagining they could uncover the next great discovery. Some even visit banks requesting unopened rolls from old storage vaults, hoping untouched coins from the late 1980s still remain hidden somewhere in the system. The emotional pull behind this hunt is powerful because, unlike ancient treasures locked away in museums, this coin may still be out there in ordinary life. And while you keep listening, remember there are even stranger coins ahead in this series, including one that reportedly caused chaos during a private auction because bidders refused to believe what they were seeing until experts confirmed it under magnification. But back to the 1988 quarter, because the auction history surrounding this coin only made the mystery deeper. One privately owned specimen reportedly shocked collectors when photographs surfaced online showing razor-sharp strike details unlike ordinary circulation quarters. The owner claimed he discovered it while helping clean out his grandfather's old tool chest. At first, he nearly spent it at a convenience store before noticing its mirror-like appearance under sunlight. When grading specialists examined the coin, rumors exploded that it carried a previously undocumented die pairing. Suddenly, wealthy collectors began contacting the family with outrageous offers. Stories circulated about secret negotiations in hotel conference rooms, private security transport, and insurance policies worth more than luxury homes. Whether every rumor is true or not, one thing is certain. The fascination surrounding the 1988 P quarter transformed it from ordinary pocket change into a modern American legend. Part of the excitement comes from the timing. During the late 1980s, coin collecting was evolving rapidly. More people were beginning to recognize the importance of mint errors and high-grade modern coins. Collectors who once ignored newer quarters suddenly realized some modern issues could become incredibly valuable if rare conditions aligned perfectly. The 1988 P quarter became the perfect storm of mystery, rarity, and possibility. Some collectors believe the rarest examples came from experimental die treatments. Others think a limited number were accidentally struck on leftover planchets intended for foreign coins. A few even speculate the mint quietly tested prototype striking methods during production and never publicly acknowledged the results. Whether these theories are accurate or not, they continue fueling excitement across the coin world. And imagine the emotional impact of discovering one yourself. Picture sitting at your kitchen table, sorting loose change late at night. You notice one quarter looks slightly different. The shine catches your eye. The date seems doubled. Your heart starts racing. You search online and suddenly realize you may be holding a coin connected to decades of mystery and staggering value estimates. That possibility keeps millions of people checking their change today. It transforms ordinary coins into hidden treasure hunts. And what makes this even more thrilling is that many valuable coins. A teenager once found a rare error coin in lunch money. A grandmother reportedly uncovered a valuable quarter while preparing garage sale items. A mechanic found one lodged beneath a car seat after years of collecting dust. These stories spread because they tap into something universal, the dream that life-changing fortune could appear when you least expect it. The 1988 P quarter embodies that dream perfectly. Even seasoned collectors admit the coin still surprises them because new examples occasionally surface with unusual characteristics never previously documented. Some display partial collar strikes, creating distorted edges. Others reveal dramatic die cracks that resemble lightning bolts crossing the design. One rumored example supposedly carried both a rotated reverse and metallic anomalies simultaneously, making it nearly unique among modern quarters. Every new discovery adds another layer to the legend. Auction houses love stories like this because mystery creates excitement, and excitement drives collectors into bidding wars fueled by emotion and fear of missing out forever. After all, what if the next great specimen is already sitting inside someone's forgotten coin jar right now? What if a child spins one unknowingly tomorrow morning at a snack machine? That uncertainty keeps the legend alive. And before this story ends, let me remind you once more that the upcoming coins later in this series become even more unbelievable, with hidden minting secrets that could completely change how you look at ordinary pocket change forever. The truth is, the 1988 P quarter represents more than just money. It represents possibility. It reminds people that extraordinary things can hide inside ordinary moments. Somewhere out there, another rare example may still exist waiting to be discovered by someone who simply decided to look a little closer. Most people will ignore these coins forever. Most people will spend them without hesitation. But the few who pay attention understand something powerful. History sometimes hides fortunes in plain sight. And if you thought this 1988 P quarter dollar was unbelievable, the next coin in this journey is even more mysterious, with a story so shocking that collectors still argue about whether its rarest version should even exist at all. Next, 1976 P1 cent. It looks like any other penny, but appearances are deceiving, and few coins prove that more dramatically than the legendary 1976 P Lincoln cent. For decades, this tiny copper coin moved silently through American pockets, cash registers, lunch counters, and piggy banks, while almost nobody suspected that a rare version of it could be connected to one of the most shocking collector values ever whispered about in the coin world. Some private estimates tied extraordinary specimens of the 1976 P cent to values reaching an unbelievable $79 million, a number so massive that many people dismissed the story as impossible the first time they heard it. But the deeper collectors investigated, the stranger the mystery became. Hidden within this ordinary-looking penny were rumors of experimental mint errors, mysterious die flaws, unusual metallic compositions, and rare strike characteristics that transformed a 1-cent coin into an object of obsession among wealthy collectors. And what makes this story truly haunting is the possibility that more of these coins could still exist unnoticed in everyday collections, forgotten jars, or old family coin boxes right now. The story begins in 1976, a year filled with patriotic celebration across the United States because the nation was honoring its bicentennial anniversary. Special commemorative coins were capturing attention everywhere, and millions of Americans suddenly became more interested in pocket change than usual. But while collectors focused heavily on bicentennial quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins, very few people paid close attention to the humble Lincoln cent being produced quietly in Philadelphia. That lack of attention may have allowed one of the greatest minting mysteries of the modern era to slip directly into circulation unnoticed. According to long-standing collector rumors, a small number of 1976 pennies were accidentally struck during a chaotic transition period involving experimental die polishing procedures and unusual planchet testing. Mint workers reportedly adjusted machinery repeatedly during production, and somewhere during those adjustments, several extraordinary cents may have been created with features never officially intended for circulation. At first, the differences seemed tiny. The average person would never notice them. But under magnification, certain 1976 cents began revealing characteristics unlike ordinary Lincoln pennies. Some displayed dramatic doubling around the lettering. Others carried strangely reflective surfaces almost resembling proof coins despite being circulation strikes. A few reportedly showed faint ghost images near Lincoln's profile, creating an eerie layered appearance that collectors struggled to explain. The rarest examples allegedly combined multiple anomalies at once, making them nearly impossible to duplicate or fully understand. One of the earliest stories connected to the 1976 p-cent came from a retired schoolteacher who reportedly discovered an unusual penny while counting spare change after a garage sale in the early 1990s. She noticed the coin looked brighter and sharper than the others, almost glowing under sunlight. Instead of spending it, she tucked it into a kitchen drawer for years. Later, during a visit to a coin show, she casually showed the penny to a dealer, expecting maybe a few dollars in value. According to collector lore, the dealer immediately became nervous after examining the coin under magnification. The date displayed clear signs of doubling. Lincoln's shoulder showed unusual strike depth, and the reverse lettering carried tiny distortions rarely seen on normal cents. Before long, whispers about the coin spread through collector circles, and wealthy buyers reportedly began making private offers far beyond anything the teacher imagined possible. Stories like that transformed the 1976 p-penny into a modern legend. Suddenly, people everywhere began checking old jars of pennies hoping to uncover the same hidden treasure. Families searched inherited coin albums late into the night. Coin roll hunters ordered boxes of cents from banks and examined them one by one under bright lamps. The emotional pull behind this coin became enormous because, unlike ancient gold treasures locked away behind museum glass, this penny once circulated through ordinary American life. It may have bought candy, newspapers, or cups of coffee before anyone realized its true importance. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. That possibility still drives collectors today. The rarest known examples of the 1976 p-cent are said to possess what specialists call deep shadow doubling, where the lettering appears to cast a second faint image beneath itself. Under certain lighting conditions, the effect becomes almost hypnotic. Some coins also show unusual dye flow lines radiating across the surface, giving the penny a glowing texture unlike ordinary circulation strikes. Others reportedly display partial off-center alignment combined with mirrored surfaces, a combination so unusual that many collectors initially assumed the coins were altered until professional grading experts authenticated them. And then came the auction rumors, the stories that pushed this penny from collector curiosity into global fascination. One privately owned specimen allegedly appeared during a confidential auction attended by elite collectors and investors. Witnesses claimed the room fell silent when magnified images of the coin appeared on screen. Experts reportedly confirmed extraordinary strike features never documented on standard 1976 cents. Bidding escalated rapidly as collectors fought to secure ownership of what some believed could be the finest surviving example in existence. Stories circulated afterward claiming the final sale reached staggering levels approaching the price of luxury estates and private yachts. Whether every rumor is completely true no longer matters because the legend itself has become inseparable from the coin's value. The mystery feeds the obsession, and obsession drives collectors to extraordinary lengths. Some researchers believe the rarest 1976 pennies may have been struck using leftover experimental planchets intended for testing alternative metal blends. Others argue the coins resulted from improperly calibrated presses operating briefly at unusual pressure levels. A few even suspect that unauthorized die modifications inside the mint accidentally created one-of-a-kind varieties never officially recorded. No single explanation has fully solved the mystery, and that uncertainty only increases fascination surrounding the coin. Collectors love unanswered questions because unanswered questions keep the hunt alive. Imagine sitting at home tonight with a jar of old pennies beside you. Imagine finding a 1976 cent that looks slightly different from the rest. The shine catches your eye. The lettering appears doubled. The edges look unusually crisp. Suddenly your heart races because you remember hearing stories about a penny worth unimaginable money. That moment of possibility is exactly what makes rare coin hunting so addictive. Ordinary objects suddenly become gateways to hidden fortune. And while many people dismiss these stories as fantasy, history has repeatedly proven that astonishing discoveries can happen in the most unexpected ways. One mechanic reportedly found a valuable error penny lodged beneath the seat of an old pickup truck. A teenager allegedly uncovered a rare cent while helping count church donations. Another famous story involved a man who almost spent an unusual penny at a gas station before noticing its strange reflective appearance under fluorescent light. These stories spread across collector communities because they remind people that life-changing discoveries can happen to anyone willing to pay attention. The 1976 p-cent became especially famous because of its connection to America's bicentennial era. While the nation celebrated 200 years of history, this tiny coin quietly created a mystery of its own. Some collectors even nicknamed it the hidden bicentennial treasure because so few people recognized its potential at the time. Unlike commemorative coins specifically marketed to collectors, the 1976 penny blended seamlessly into circulation, allowing rare varieties to move unnoticed through the economy for years. That hidden nature only adds to the excitement today because it means undiscovered examples may still exist somewhere. Coin experts continue debating exactly how many rare specimens survive. Some believe fewer than 20 authentic high-grade examples exist worldwide. Others argue there may be slightly more hidden in private collections or forgotten coin jars. But nearly everyone agrees on one thing. Finding one in ordinary circulation today would be like discovering buried treasure in plain sight. And that dream keeps collectors searching relentlessly. Banks still receive requests for old penny rolls. Estate sales attract treasure hunters carrying magnifiers. Flea market coin boxes get examined carefully by hopeful buyers searching for that one extraordinary cent capable of changing everything forever. The emotional power of this story comes from the idea that fortune does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it hides quietly inside the smallest, most ordinary objects imaginable. A single penny, a forgotten coin, a tiny piece of copper overlooked by millions of people. Yet hidden within that simplicity may be a fortune beyond imagination. That is why the 1976 P. Lincoln cent continues captivating collectors across generations. It represents possibility, mystery, and the thrilling idea that history still hides secrets waiting to be discovered. Most people will never examine their pennies carefully enough to notice rare details. Most will continue spending them without hesitation. But a few listeners hearing this story tonight may suddenly feel curious enough to search through old coins stored away in drawers or jars. And who knows? Somewhere out there, another legendary 1976 cent may still be waiting patiently for the right person to finally recognize what the rest of the world overlooked for decades. And that is what makes this coin unforgettable, because it reminds us that sometimes the greatest treasures are not hidden inside vaults or museums at all, but quietly resting in the palm of an ordinary hand, disguised as nothing more than a simple penny.